So this next video is a part of the team development section, and it is about team culture and dynamics. I think this is a huge part of team development, and I think it is commonly overlooked. I think it's important to actually be able to establish that right atmosphere when you're developing your team. So something to keep in mind when you're looking at developing that team. After the team is formed is what's it going to look like when you guys have all formed together? Are you guys going to be happy? Are you guys going to be positive? Are you guys going to be very structured? Are you guys going to be laid back? Are you guys going to be scheduled? I don't know. There's just a lot of different things to think about when you're looking at the culture and dynamics of your team. So let's get into a few different things to talk about in that particular category. My primary source for this information was the HBR, but there's actually a lot more resources available online when you're talking about dynamics. I did some research on the Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, and he actually had a lot of information about creating your team culture and working on your team dynamics, because he believes that it's important to set that up so that that team is in the right position to actually be at its maximum performance. So very important part. So the first step is actually to create that right atmosphere. So decide what you want your team to look like and what kind of environment the team's going to create under. Make sure that you guys understand your purpose. So you really got to have an idea of what that purpose is going to be for that team and what's going to drive the team to get there. Understand the motivations behind the individuals and understand the motivation for the team to succeed. Work on building the relationship between the team members, between the team as a whole. It's going to be pretty important. As a leader or as a manager, it's important to observe. So this is going to be the most important role, I think, besides developing that right environment and fostering that right atmosphere initially, is going to be able to observe. What observation allows you to do it? It allows you to identify issues early or potentially predict issues before they arise, right? If you know you've got a few different team members and you know they have a tendency toward a particular tasks, or maybe you know their MBTI types and their conflict management modes, and then something happened, something unpredictable happened, and you know how they're going to be likely to respond. You can almost predict how it's going to go down, so you can then be better prepared. So observation is going to be key. The other thing that the observation allows you to do is it allows you to be flexible. So if something's not working, you can quickly address that. So observation is critical to working on that team culture and dynamics, because as the person outside or the person above or the person observing the team work, you can make adjustments if needed. The other thing to remember is to foster that open-mindedness amongst the group, so that there can be open, active communication, so that that trust can be developed. That's one of the things I had talked about in the last video, but fostering that open-mindedness. And the last piece of the team culture and dynamics is to intervene if you do see something. So don't just observe what's going on, actually do something about it. And if needed, intervene often. This might just mean make a small tweak at the plan of action. This might mean just talk to somebody about something very quickly, provide feedback. It might mean just if you see a conflict arise, address it early, but do it often if needed. If you see something wrong with the flow of the team, if the meeting times aren't working, whatever comes up, just make sure you're doing something about it after you observe that there might be an issue. So set up the atmosphere, make sure the purpose is clear, build those relationships, observe the teams, foster open-mindedness and flexibility, and then intervene if you see anything. So team culture, team dynamics, I agree with Jeff Bezos. I think this is really at the center of making that team development, forming creating the right team and getting on the right board, but it's also very important for the later stages of the team, which is the performing stage, at the success of the team. So if the dynamics are there, your team's going to be motivated, they're going to be passionate, they're going to be creative, they're going to be in the right mindset, that great things are going to happen. So think about the team culture and dynamics in that team development stage, and I think you're going to be ready to go. So the next section of the series is actually going to be regarding conflict, which is a big subject that I like. So we'll work on that next. Thanks.